Hello again and welcome to Business Live. The new banknotes and 2 cedi coin launched today will be available for transactions from next week. The Bank of Ghana officially launched the new 200 cedis, 100 cedis and 2 cedi coin, which are now legal tender. First Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Masole Opoku-Aferi, has also been speaking to Joy Business about the educational campaign strategy for these new denominations.
There is a very comprehensive education program that has been put in place. I'm sure you were down there with us when you saw a bit of that education program going in place. The public recognition features of these notes are very easy for you to identify, to quickly identify that this is a legal, this is not a counterfeit, but this is the legal tender issued by the Bank of Ghana. We have lined up a lot of educational programs at different levels at the radio stations, at the TV stations, using information vans, going through the media, the print media, going throughout the country. We have lined all up to be able to educate people on these new notes as a legal tender, and also the public recognition features to ensure that everyone is able to identify what is a genuine note that has been issued by the central bank. And it's starting immediately. In fact, it has started now. The public education campaign has just started. It started with the launch, and now it's being rolled out all over.
The economists will always want to say that all other things being equal, when will these currencies be rolled out onto them? Because the banks also have to do the necessary calibrations and all the rest. Is it next week? Is it the next 2 weeks? So what's the rollout plan in terms of issuing it out?
So as far as it being legal tender, it is immediate. Now that it's been announced, these notes are legal tender. But you are right. Today is a Friday. The banks will now have to, normally they come on Mondays for species to be moved to their various branches for them to feed their ATMs and others. So they will come, it has to be calibrated into the system. And so from next week, you begin to see, depending on the demands from the banks, these notes beginning to go out for customers to be able to, or for the public to be able to get access to them to use. But the systems are being calibrated as we speak now. And the banks will start getting these species moved to their various branches starting from next week, Monday.
But some will say that it will also be a demand base, because it's not, do I get from you demand base?
Because not everybody who is going to use the 100 or the 200 Ghana cedis for transactions immediately. But we also recognize that once it's new and it's very beautiful, I don't know whether you've seen it, everybody wants to see a copy. So you have an initial jump in demand, not just for transaction, but just to appreciate this very beautiful note. And so that is also being taken care of. But yes, you are right. It will be a demand base as to how many people want to demand that, because as I said, it's mostly going to store value and also for high value transactions.
I see the security features on these notes, and these are up modern tech and all the rest. This is not going to come easy in terms of cost, right?
That's why if you look at the family of notes, you see that as you move high, the security features are different, because these are put on higher value denominations. As you go to the lower value denominations, you see a different type of security features. Yes, it's high class, it's tech savvy, it's expensive, but it's commensurate with the value. And in terms of savings, it's very huge savings to the central bank, because these are the most modern security features and very, very difficult to counterfeit. I don't know whether, I think you were there, you saw it being displayed. Even though it's high-tech and most modern, it is also very easy on the eye of the.
Meanwhile, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the introduction of the new high-value notes should not be misinterpreted to mean a shift from the bank's policy of pursuing a cash-light society. The Governor of the Central Bank has been explaining the rationale for the introduction of the new 100 and 200 Ghana cedis, as well as a 2 Ghana cedi coin.
The purpose for this meeting is to inform you of the introduction of 2 higher denomination cedi banknotes and the 2 Ghana cedi coins. As you may recall, in May this year, the Bank of Ghana put into circulation upgraded banknotes of the Ghana cedi. The rationale for upgrading the banknotes was primarily to enhance the security features of the banknotes in the context of an evolving technological landscape and to bring on board features that will secure the currency and make it difficult for counterfeiting. In addition to enhancing the security features, the upgraded banknotes came with specific features to improve durability and enhance their machine readability. The upgrade exercise retained the design features of the existing series of banknotes and coins, as introduced 12 years ago in 2007, in a redenomination exercise that sought to recalibrate the currency due to the significant deadweight burden, which was a legacy of long periods of high inflation and currency devaluation. The redenomination exercise aimed to eliminate 4 zeros from the existing unit of currencies in an attempt to introduce efficiency in the economy and remove the deadweight burden associated with transactions. At the time of the redenomination, the 1 Ghana cedi was equivalent to $1 US. The highest denomination then was the 50 Ghana cedi, which was equivalent to the 15 US dollars. 12 years after the redenomination exercise, sustained periods of high inflation and the perennial depreciation of the currency have eroded in real terms the face value of the series of notes. As is the normal practice in all jurisdictions, central banks do periodically undertake a review of the structure of their currencies with a view to make sure that they are aligned with macroeconomic conditions and demand. In fact, international best practices requires monetary authorities to review their currency regimes at intervals of between 5 and 10 years, with the aim of ensuring that demand for banknotes are well aligned with economic activity, address weaknesses and challenges associated with the bank management of the notes and coins in circulation, assess the non-usage of a particular series to ensure efficiency in printing, and address technological innovations that impact the usage of currency.
So after the launch of the new currency, the head of currency at the Bank of Ghana, Dominic Owusu, spoke with my colleague George Rafi, explaining some of the key features of this new denomination.
I mean, this is the 100 Ghana cedi note I'm holding. And normally, the note must belong to a family. So there should be consistency in the thematic appeal, the design, aesthetics of the notes. That is why on these notes, we still maintain the general family picture. So here, we have the image of the Big Six, as we see the Independence Arch, and then the watermark, which is in the shape of Tetekwashi and the cocoa pod. But then what is prominent and technologically advanced on these notes is what we call the surface stripe. And I want to point to the surface stripe. The surface stripe is the feature I'm covering, or I'm pointing to. This feature is a three-dimensional feature and is the first introduction of this sort in the world. We have the feature we call, still the modern feature we call the surface stripe. Now on this note, we have the declared symbol oligod, which is the ball on the note. So when you look at the note, you see this ball as if it's 3D, as if you can pick it, but you cannot pick it. Now behind the ball, underneath it.
Now the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, says even though the introduction of the 100 Ghana cedis, the 200 Ghana cedis, will go a long way to enhance security with regards to handling bulk cash by traders for transactions, the central bank must consider strengthening the value of the cedi and shore up a cash-light system. President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing, has been speaking with Joy Business.
for convenient purposes, these things are very good for us, because then the transactional volumes of money becomes handy. Otherwise, if you look at the security implication, sometimes if you are going to bank and then you are holding a big bag or sack, it means that your security is at risk. So, but when you have money and it is very handy, then of course it is all good for us. But having said that, I think the underlying factor is the stability or the value of the currency itself that we need to work on. Because how long are we going to go up and up? It will not augur well even for the country. And so we have to think about the value itself, how we should stabilize the value of our currency. That's, for me, that's the most important thing to do. And also, we have to look at the cashless system that is helping, because nothing can be even more secured when we are doing the cashless system. In this case, then we are not even holding the fiscal money for your security to be at risk. And so I think we are, it's a welcome news, but the underlying things is the stability of the city and then how we can pursue the cashless system.
Chartered accountant and managing partner at JP Khan Associates Limited, Jonathan Prince Khan, has been analyzing the implications of the new denomination introduction on the financial system and the economy as a whole. He spoke with Ebenezer Sabuti.
The impact is the fact that it's a lot of a balanced reaction, because sometimes the introduction is good. First of all, because it lessens what we call the deadweight burden on those who use the currency in order to transact. So definitely for efficiency, etc., it is much better to have higher notes to trade with. But more on the economic side, I think it is more to do with the depreciation of the cedi. Over the years, when the new currency was introduced, I think back in 2007, the parity rate was $1 was equivalent to 1 cedi. This has definitely not been the same. Now the rate is about 5.5. So definitely there has been a tremendous change in the real value of the cedi, which is not commensurate with the sort of transactions, etc., that is supposed to be done with it. So given these economic changes, etc., especially in the currency management, I think it is okay for us to have a higher denomination being introduced onto the market to augment what is already in the system, and to also bring about more efficiency in terms of transactions, especially those who want to carry along currencies when it comes to cash currencies, when it comes to transactions.
But for the sake of security, some people that we've engaged think this is not necessary, because you have 200 cedis notes just like that, and in case you lose it, I mean, what will become of you? And for them, they don't find this necessary. What do you say to that?
Well, for yes, it may be, but that is not maybe the real reason why we have to either introduce or not to introduce. I mean, that should not be. If even I'm holding 10 cedis or 20 cedis or 50 cedis, I have to be careful how I keep my money, etc. But the key substance of it is, as I mentioned earlier, is the efficiency. Those who are trading, those who are into business merchandising, a lot of our people carry cash in their transactions, and that means that the volume, to me as a trader, or to somebody who is a trader, let's say wholesale, retail shops, etc., that's quite a lot of money they have to handle around. Carrying them from their place of transaction onto the banks is even a burden to some of them, and that definitely would benefit them more, rather than those who are saying that because of the higher notes, if I lose it, or something of that nature. That is not really I think that's the import of the whole introduction. It is more about bringing about efficiency, effectiveness in the currency management.
Well, so let's still stay further on the announcement of the big news by the Bank of Ghana today. We hit the streets to sample the views of a section of the public on what they think about this new issue.
It might be a good thing, but it's being done at the wrong time, because there are lots of pressing issues now, as I speak to you, that I think they should, prioritize. but they are not doing that, and they are, spending more money to put in notes into this. There are already notes in the system.
200 Ghana cedis, 100 Ghana cedis. Well, if you misplace one, it means it's a lot. I don't think when you are having 10 cedis, 200 cedis, you can't deliberately misplace it. But that 200 cedis, 100 cedis, the moment one fell, is a whole lot.
Which elected education will be delved into how people should handle the Ghana cedi, because over the years we have tried to bring new notes, I say new notes, yes, but because of my handle, it doesn't last. Then we have to bring another one.
Well, we've also been sampling the views of people on this currency in Kumasi, and we're trying to bring what they also think about it. But for now, it has become one of the popular traditions for the Christmas festivity in the United States of America, and gradually also catching up in Ghana. Although customers in Ghana do not go to the extreme like keeping wait for shops to open, they still take advantage of the discounted offers available on Black Friday. Karen Dodu has this report from the Accra Mall.
Gradually, the craze of Black Friday is catching up here in Ghana as well. So what's Black Friday? It's a day where big shops and several companies give huge discounts on their items. Some believe it's a way of doing a clearance sale, but then for the customers, it's a big opportunity for them to buy their favorite household items, favorite technological items. So we are here to speak to some customers and find out if indeed today has been a good one for them.
Looking at these stuffs, if it's not Black Friday, you can spend, let's say, more than 500 Ghana cedis, but today is, it's like 300 cedis, so I've really saved a lot.
Hundreds of items were slashed in price at most shops we visited in one of Ghana's biggest shopping arcades, the Accra Mall. Excited customers who thronged the mall for the Black Friday experience took advantage of the special deals. For most customers, the juicy deals were enough justification to make a quick dash from the busy work schedule.
They have reduced more than 50%. So you can buy more. If you were to buy one, you can buy more than one. At least I'm here, I'm buying 3. But previously, I will come here and buy only 1 or 2. So it has given me the opportunity to purchase more. So my purchase power has increased, and I'm enjoying it.
I shop here normally. However, I'm taking advantage of the Black Friday because of the discounted prices. So I say let me rush in here as early as possible before the mad crowd takes over the whole place.
At the game shopping mall, groceries and household appliances were heavily discounted, with some going for as low as 50% of the original price. Bottled drinking water and beverages were the most discounted. I can see you have a lot of goodies in your in your basket. A lot of drinks. Looks like you're buying for Christmas.
Actually, yeah, for Christmas, and I do cocktails, so because I just heard about Black Friday, and actually I'm having an event tomorrow and Sunday. So I just decided, okay, then let me just use the opportunity to come to the mall and get stuff, because mostly if I'm going to Accra and it's Friday, the traffic and all that, so I just decided.
Looking at these stuffs, if it's not Black Friday, you can spend, let's say, more than 500 Ghana cedis, but today is, it's like 300 cedis, so I've really saved a lot.
Although patrons were trooping in, they were hoping that sales would improve as they plan to extend the deals to the weekend.
Black Friday, I think, in Ghana has been catching up over the last 4 years, I might say, and every year it's becoming much better because more consumers are informed, and I can tell you the day has been fantastic. I cannot complain.
Because the day hasn't ended yet, so I can't say much about that. But I'm sure at the end of the day, we might see today perhaps being better than last year.
So maybe you are home or you're caught up at work and you couldn't make it to the Black Friday deals. Well, good news for you, because most shops, most vendors have extended the Black Friday experience to Saturday and Sunday. So if you're home and then you still want to get a special item, make it a date at any of the shops this weekend and you might still enjoy the Black Friday experience. Reporting here from the Accra Mall, Karen Dodu for Joy Business.
Of course, a good time for many discounted offers on a Black Friday. And that's it for Business Live today. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are free for more business news. Log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good day.